chocolate, water, and Marie have to do with each other? Hi guys, how are you doing? My name is Lindsay and I am with Perfectly Pastry. Who is Perfectly Pastry? We are a local bakery in Waterloo, Illinois. I do not like my setup. I can't figure out how I want my camera. If you're watching me live, use a heart. Let me know you're watching me live. If you're watching me on replay, use hashtag replay. And it's the first time you've ever caught me live, use number 1. Let me know, like, hey, it's actually the first time I've caught you live. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. How are you doing? So I'm gonna totally go on a personal note here first before we get started. So my daughter is a freshman and she's in band, and last night was her first time to march in the parade and she did a great job. She had a lot of fun. It was the longest parade of my life. I am like, no joke. It was an hour and a half. I am like, who has an hour and a half long parade? It was crazy. And it is the first parade I've ever been to in Florida that is not at Disney. So it was my first parade ever in Florida that was not at Disney. And you're like, what does that matter, right? The amount of times that people used boats for floats was crazy. Like, they would pull the trailer and on the trailer would be a boat and everybody would be on the boat and the boat would be decorated and themed. And I'm like, this is literally the most Florida schnitzel stuff I have ever seen in my life. Like, I just couldn't get over it. At one point, like a yacht club group came through and they had a semi truck, and it was not a yacht, but it is ginormous boat, a semi. Who brings a semi in a parade? And we were like at the corner where it turned and then it like ended, like we were at the end of it, which is probably why it was like an hour and a half long. And I was just like, ugh. But we were at the corner and I was like, that semi is going to take out all of us. Like, it's just going to take us all. It didn't take us all out, but I was convinced it was going to take us all out. Like, I've never been to a parade where there's a semi truck, let alone pulling a boat, and everybody's dancing on the boat. Like, they're all having a great time and it's decorated for Christmas. It was the epitome of Florida. For real. But yeah, it was really cool to see my kiddo in her first parade. Like, I obviously at the football games I saw in March. And so this was the first time that she got to be in a parade. And it was a lot of fun. So besides the fact that it was an hour and a half and I was ready to go home. And like, it was like packed. Like, I know that sounds crazy. Like, duh, it was packed. Why didn't you think it was packed? So I told my husband, I'm like, I'm going to go like an hour early. I'm going to park in the parking garage and then we'll just like go and chill off of Fifth Avenue until it starts. At 5 o'clock, I roll up. There's nowhere to park. People are parked all over the streets. The parking garage is full. Like, roads are shut down. I don't know where I'm going. Like, I don't go to downtown Naples and Fifth Avenue very often. Not that Naples covers a lot of land, but like the city itself is not really big. Like, we don't have tall buildings. As a matter of fact, we don't have tall buildings because of ordinances. So it's not like that kind of city. So and we have a lot of retired people. So I like really, truly didn't think there was going to be a ton of people. What I failed to remember is that like there are like 26 different schools in our school district. Like, our district is huge. And all the schools were participating. So why I thought, oh, it'll be easy. And my husband was like, why would you go an hour early? Like, there's going to be plenty of parking. It's not going to be that busy. What are you doing? And it was not busy. It was definitely busy. And like, I was all flustered. So we ended up parking at my husband's work, and I just like, forget it. We're parking at my husband's work and we'll walk. And to get there, I have to like cross over in the middle of traffic, one of the busiest roads in Naples. And I was like, oh, Jesus. So the girls and I ran across the road. We did not get hit. There was another group of people. Well, there was 2 people and they were about to walk. So I was like, hurry kids, let's catch up to them. And we like caught up and went across with them. Cause I was like, well, my kids are less likely to get hit if there's a lot of us walking across the street. Come to find out, like we walk, so my husband's work here, then there's this parking, and then there's like a shopping center. It's not really a shopping center, it's this like hoity-toity area, and it has like a bunch of bars and restaurants and then like tall apartments and stuff. And if you go down by the front, it's down by the waterfront. It's called Bayfront. So we went around the shopping and then around all the buildings and then walked back up, because coming out of my husband's work, like where the to pull in, the sidewalks were under construction. So we went like all the way around and back and across. And he texted me, was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm walking. I told you that. And then later on, he like catches up with us and he was like, why did you walk such a weird way? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I had to cross over the road. And he was like, no, there is literally, if I would have kept going, just like literally, like here it is. If I would have just gone down the stairs, so we went down the stairs and we went this way. If I would have just gone down the stairs and then just kept walking and taken the other stairs, there's a like a pedestrian walkway that goes underneath the busy road. But no, that is not what my kids and I did. We bustled across the street as fast as we could. Ugh, I was just like, well, there you go. I'm sure we had to look like a bunch of idiots. People are probably like, why are they not just using the pedestrian walkway? I now know it exists, but there you go. So yeah, it was really crazy last night, but I was glad I got to go. So I was happy to be able to see her march and stuff like that. Totally personal side note. There you go. That's just a little bit about what I did last night. I want to let everybody know that we have some exciting stuff happening this weekend. So the Valmeyer Music Department is having the cookies, candy, and caroling fundraiser. That was a tongue twister, and you would think I'd be able to say it because I'm the one that came up with the name, and that alliteration totally got me, didn't it? So cookies, candy, and caroling, and it is going to be on Saturday the 10th. What does that mean to you? All right, let me let you know. So from 7:30 to 2, any candy or cookie dough sold in our shop, 20% of the sale will go back to the Valmeyer Music Department, okay? So again, 7:30 to 2, candy, cookie dough, 20% goes back to the school, okay? But it gets even better. Those kiddos are going to come to the shop and they are actually going to be Christmas caroling. I'm so excited. I am not a very good singer, so I don't ever get invited to caroling, whatever. But the kiddos are going to come in and they're going to be available and they're going to be caroling. That's going to be a lot of fun. They've actually been caroling all over the place. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, they should totally come in and carol. Okay, so they're going to be at the shop caroling from 11 to 12. Okay, and we've decided to do something special. So between the hours of 11, and it's 1 hour, just between the hour of 11 to 12, we are going to donate back 20% of all sales in the shop. So not just the candy, not just the cookie dough, but all sales from 11 to 12, we're going to donate 20% back to the Valmeyer Music Department. So we're really excited about that. If you guys are like, oh, we were wondering what we can do that's totally Christmas themed, come out, support the kiddos, listen to them sing. They've been practicing really hard. They've been going around and caroling. So stop by and listen to those kiddos and their caroling. By the way, my niece is there. So, I'm like getting all these videos of her going around caroling. So the Valmeyer Music Department, it is their cookies, candy, and caroling fundraiser. So we want to invite you all to stop by. All right. So what is up with chocolate water and Marie? Like, how are those related? Don't worry. I'm totally going to tell you. So today I thought I would give you guys a little bit of tricks and tips about working and making candies. So today we're going to focus on chocolate. Of course, I did not know these going into this, right? I mean, that's not true. I actually did, and I suggested, or I like offhandedly mentioned one of the tips. So I do know, but I'm not the pastry chef. So of course, before I got on, I was like, all right, pastry chef, give us some tips for candy. By the way, she gave me tips for chocolate, and then she started going to other candies. I was like, girl, let's just stick with chocolate. One thing at a time. My brain hurts. All right. So today I thought, all right, because my brain hurts, your brain's going to hurt. Let's stay on chocolate today. All right. So we wanted to just give you a little bit of tips of working with chocolate and making candies with chocolate. And so the first thing is a Baine Marie. My mom made this totally lame joke. What was it? Oh, my sister said something and I was like, oh, that's lame. And my mom's like, you mean Baine? And then my sister's like, what are you talking about, Mom? My mom's like, I'm so funny. And my sister's like, I don't get it. Then we carried on the conversation. And then my mom tried to circle back and make the same joke again. And my sister was still like, what? What are you talking about? Obviously, you had to be there because I find it super hilarious and I am laughing, but I feel like you're not laughing with me. So I guess I'll just let that one ride. But it was funny. You should find it funny. Okay, so the first thing is to use a Baine Marie. It's like, girl, what are you talking about? Who? Marie? What? Okay, so a Baine Marie, it is the fancy way of saying to use a double boiler. By the way, I really thought it was broiler, and it's not. It's boiler. So there you go. Use a double boiler. How do you make a double boiler? Okay, so start with a pot of boiling water. I wrote these instructions down and my words were pot boiling water. Okay, so you start with a pot of boiling water. Okay, so you start with the pot of boiling water, and then you're going to use another bowl on top of that. The key is that your bowl needs to be bigger than your pot, okay? And then when my mom was telling this, for some reason I like had it backwards, and I thought the water was in the bowl. And so this next step, she's like, make sure the water doesn't touch the bottom of the bowl. And I was like, what? Like, you're putting the water in the bowl. How's it not going to touch? Okay, I don't want to confuse you. All right, let's start over, because I was like totally like, wait, what? And I had it backwards. So let me tell you what you're supposed to do, not what I thought. Put the water in the pot, put the pot on the stove, put the bowl on the pot, and then the chocolate goes in the bowl. That is how it should have been made. I don't know why. Like, I was so confused when we were first talking about it. So yeah, so you're going to have your water boiling in your pot. You want to make sure that that bowl is bigger than that pot. I'm awfully laughy today. I don't know. You want to make sure that the water is not touching the bottom of the bowl. It still makes me chuckle because I really had it backwards. So you want to make sure when that water is boiling that it's not touching the bottom of the bowl, okay? And then you're going to put your chocolate on top and then have it melt. This is really important. You want to use 1 tablespoon of old-fashioned shortening. I was told very clearly, very specifically, old-fashioned shortening. So make sure it is old-fashioned shortening, okay? So you're going to create that double boiler. Again, it's going to be the pot. The water goes in the pot. It's going to boil. You're going to put the bowl on top. Make sure that your bowl is bigger than your pot. Make sure that water is not touching the bottom of the bowl. So when you're using chips, you're going to use 1 tablespoon of old-fashioned shortening to a bag of chips, okay? And then the most important thing, and this is the one that I knew, I was so proud of myself. The most important thing is water is the #1 enemy to chocolate. So again, there's your water, there is your chocolate, and there's your your Marie. So water is the #1 enemy to chocolate. The minute you get water in your chocolate, it seizes up. It's no longer good. You cannot work with it. Okay. Seriously, it happens. Don't do it. So what that means is make sure your utensils are super dry. Make sure any of the bowl you're using, everything you're using is dry. When you go to like remove the chocolate, make sure you're drying off the bottom. Like, do not get water in the chocolate. It will mess it up and you will not be able to use it. Okay. So your tricks and tips are use the Baine Marie. Again, that's just the double boiler, which we went over, and make sure the water's in the pot, not in the bowl, right? Make sure you use 1 tablespoon of old-fashioned shortening. It's really important. I don't know. I didn't know that there were like different types. And then that the #1 enemy to chocolate is water. All right, guys, I am not going to be on here very long. Actually, it's so funny because I was like, wow, this is a really short live, but it was almost 15 minutes, which is what my typical lives are. I must have spent a lot of time talking about parades today. Anyways, all right, you guys, I'm going to hop off of here and get back to my day. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Please don't forget to stop by and support the kiddos for the Valmeyer Music Department cookies, candy, and caroling. Again, all cookies and candy sold in the shop from 7:30 to 2. 20% is going to go back to the department. During the caroling from 11 to 12, all sales in the store, 20% of those are going to go back to the Valmeyer Music Department. All right, you guys, I'm going to hop off of here, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Talk to you later.